Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the top 10 best value cards in NBA 2K25 My Team. Basically, all auctionable cards who, for their price, are elite values and really good cards to pick up here in NBA 2K25 My Team. There's a bunch of other guys, especially some of the budget shooting guards that I probably could have included on this list, but I didn't want this list to be super pink diamond shooting guard heavy, and so I only included like one or two of those. And overall, I think it's a really good list, and I think it's a very well-rounded list with a lot of really good cards at different positions that can fill a lot of holes on people's teams. So before we hop into it, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll be pushed towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it, and let's start off with the number 10 spot, which is going to be Pink Diamond Akeem Olajuwon, who's going for right over 50,000 MT right now, and gives you a 7-footer with a 7'3" wingspan who's got speed, decent shooting, good finishing, and versatile defense. Still a very usable card online, and definitely another guy who's been out for a while, so it's definitely possible to find him with some extra good hoffs. You can find a couple shooting hoffs, a couple of more defensive hoffs like immovable enforcer, rebound chaser, stuff like that. He can be really good, still absolutely viable even at a competitive level in the right hands. Definitely a really solid card for that 50,000 MT price point. Definitely feels like a good option at number 10. Number 9 is the most expensive card on the list, Pink Diamond Victor Wembanyama. I just have to shout him out on this list, even if he is low for value. He's like 500k, so it's hard to justify that value, but he does give you the ability that very few cards in My Team do, of being just incredibly glitchy and hard to stop. Really tough to contest fade. He is extremely good as a finisher, and obviously can shoot over people's heads, which is a very glitchy ability that he does have. Defensively, he's elite, and overall the lack of speed can be a little bit annoying, but at 7'4" with a 7'8" wingspan really doesn't generally matter too much. Still one of the better cards in My Team, and even though he's the most expensive card in this list and it's not even particularly close, still felt like he had to be somewhere on here, even if it was towards the bottom. Number 8 is going to be Kristaps Porzingis, who is about 100,000 MT. He's worse than Wemby, but he's also a fifth of the price. So he's very similar in terms of size, shooting, all that type of stuff, good finisher. Honestly, he and Wemby are relatively similar, but Wemby's tougher to contest and a little bit bigger, whereas KP, not quite as good of a card, but much more affordable. Definitely still an extremely viable competitive level card, though. There's no doubt about that. Can compete at the highest level with any card you want pretty much at the center position, especially when he is properly badged. If you get him with extra hoffs, things of that nature, he could really be a monster. Definitely think KP is still a very viable card on this list, and I felt like he also had to be here, even if it isn't crazy high up on the list. Number 7 is going to be Joel Embiid, who's basically very similar to Akeem. The thing that's different about him and Akeem is Akeem's like 50k, Embiid is like 20k. Now, I actually think Akeem's the better card overall, but not by a significant enough margin to justify that type of a price difference. And that puts Embiid a few spots higher on this list as a really good card. 7-footer with a 7'5" wingspan, 87 3-ball, still got decent speed, still a really good versatile defender, and a solid finisher. I wish the standing dunk was a little higher than 85, but his jumper's nice. He's a pretty good pick and popper. Defensively, he's super solid. He's got enough speed at 7 foot to be super viable as well. Definitely still an extremely usable card who's going for an extremely affordable price now. So I feel like Embiid at number 7 is a good spot for him. Number 6 could be Pink Diamond Stephon Castle. Gives you size and defense at the point guard position at 6'7" with a 6'9" wingspan. Got good shooting, solid slashing ability as well. That 93 ball is pretty good. His jumper's not terrible, and defensively, he's a very high level, versatile defensive point guard. Having a card like this is really nice to counter a point guard like a Magic, or even more of your shot creating point guards like MJ, Gary, LaMelo, whoever else it might be. LaMelo's not the best shot creator, but in general, a lot of really good cards at the point guard position. Stephon Castle gives you a guy with some size, some shooting, and some defense, especially defense, to be able to counter. I think he's a really good card, and I think number 6 is the perfect spot for Stephon. Number 5 is going to be Pink Diamond Julius Erving. Look, I get it. He's expensive. You're going to be paying close to 200,000 MT for him still. I don't care that he's that expensive. He is still that worth it because he's a top 5 card at his position in My Team. Elite level shooter, elite level slasher, elite level defender, elite fade, elite sigs, really elite everything. He is just one of the best cards in the game still to this day. And I think despite his price, him being as good as he is at everything and his ability to run your offense makes him extremely valuable. So for me, Dr. J, despite the price tag, deserves a top 5 spot. And the same thing can be said for number 4, which is Michael Beasley. Also relatively similar in price to Dr. Dr. J, maybe a little bit cheaper overall, but 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan and legitimately one of the best jumpers in the game and the best movement of any small forward in my team right now. Gives you a elite primary shot creating small forward who's got the slashing, shooting, fade, defense, movement, all that type of stuff that you need. And I mean, defensively, he's really not bad. He's not a liability by any means, especially when he's badged. And there's a lot of Beasleys floating around with extra Hoffs and sometimes even legend defensive badges. You can get a couple of those on him and he becomes an absolute monster. Really, really high value card at the small forward position. And for me, despite the price tag, again, he has to be in that top 5. Number 3 is going to be Matt Barnes. Shout out DBG for putting me onto this card. Y'all will see later tonight. I did a gameplay with a team of DBG's favorite cards, and DBG literally has been raving about this card. He called him the best non-Wimby card in the game. Obviously, I don't agree with that. But I do agree that this Matt Barnes is an elite defender who has an absolutely insane jump shot. Legitimately one of the best shooting guards in my team in terms of his jumper. And I mean, he's not a liability movement-wise either. Damon Lillard escape is pretty good. Pro dribble style is solid. His release is amazing. Really, really good card. And again, he's also going for like 5K. Maybe 6 or 7. You can get this card extremely cheap and he can compete at the highest level for a very cheap price. To me, also has to be on this list very, very high up. Number 2 is the only diamond on this list, Tyson Chandler. Y'all might call me a homer because I'm a Mavs fan, but I love this card. I feel like he plays very similarly to your Kareems, Wilt, Rudy Gobert's of the world. Problem is all those guys are 100 KMT or more, generally speaking, whereas Tyson's 5K. He's got the speed, he's got all the defense you want, he's got really good finishing as well, and the shooting is the issue, but that's the issue for Kareem, Wilt, Rudy as well, and he's got the best jump shot of all of those guys, and I don't think it's particularly close. He is an absolute beast. I feel very confident catching and shooting with him. I'm using him as my backup center on my God Squad right now. He is that good. I do not feel like he is out of place at all, playing in high-level Tier 1 showdown. Really, really good card. Tyson Chandler, a no-brainer to me. And I feel like number 2 is actually a completely justifiable spot for him. But at the number 1 spot is going to be Pink Diamond Jonathan Bender. Can get him for less than 60,000 MT, a 7-footer with a 7'4" wingspan who has one of the toughest to contest small forward jumpers in my team. He's got the height to just shoot over people anyway, including that jump shot. It becomes incredibly hard to stop. His fade is elite. Well, I mean, normal fade can be really good if you have a good upper. He's got a very good upper going right. It's really good. And I mean, he's a great slasher as well, and the defensive switchability and versatility is what I love about this Bender card. At 7 foot, he can go from stepping out on a guard if he needs to guarding a Giannis at the 3, or even like a Wilt at the 4 or a Wimby at the 5 at a pretty competitive level. His size and switchability defensively, in addition to having one of the best jump shots in the game, makes him a extremely valuable card for his price point. And in my opinion, he's in that point where he's one of the best cards at his position in the game. He's less than 60 KMT. That to me is a best value card. And yeah, this is my list of the top 10 best value cards in my team right now. Let me know what y'all think of this list in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.